aka Clarence Champ the third. This is your coaches and pros, the X's and O's. This is the best point of view, what we know. So let's go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, get them terrible towels going. Let's go. Get them terrible towels going, people. Let's go. What's going on? Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. The Fans Point of View pod, man, with Truck and Chubby. You know what I'm saying? That's your coaches and pros, the X's and O's, Fans Point of View, and what we know. Yo, let's go. All right. What's going on with everybody, man? I hope that everybody is having a fantastic weekend. Like I said, could probably be doing a little bit more lives. It's easier this way for me to get to y'all during the season, right? You know what I mean? I'm on the road, got a family to take care of, got to get this chicken, right? Got to get the chicken. And when they got to get the money, aka the chicken, got to go out on the road, got to be out hunting, bringing that home for the family, pot. You know what I'm saying? That's just how this goes. So shout out to all my people out there working and still grinding. You hear it? But I appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what I'm saying? I really do. So the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, sir. Our Steelers are sitting real pretty right now. Still early on. We're sitting at 3-1. And I told y'all at the beginning, before the season started, go back, and watch some older Steelers videos and content that we were going to start off slow with this offensive line, right? I told y'all that. But before we get up into that, y'all make sure, look, hit that like button. It's the like button. It's free. Hit the like button right now. You know what I mean? Before we move forward, hit it. I'll give y'all a second. Hit the like button so many else can. All right, word. All right, bet. So we hit the. I hope y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you're just now coming past, it also helps the channel grow. I appreciate y'all, man. Look, we're sitting at 3-1, and I told y'all early on that this was going to happen. And what do I mean by this was going to happen? This was going to happen because our offensive line it's new. Everybody's gelling together, man. Broderick Jones, Isaac Samalaku. I can't even pronounce his last name. I'll just say Isaac S. Zach Frazier, Troy Fontuna, and Mason McCormick. We knew these guys just starting off, and they're gelling together for the first year. And I keep, I harp on, in my opinion, when you got the offense and defensive lines, those units, the more time that they have together, the better they play with each other, the better things just work out, right? And as the season moves on, you can tell that they're trying to pick up some of that chemistry moving forward with the offensive line, because that is where the heart and soul of this team is. We ran the ball really well against the Vikings. We did really well. I'm happy about it. I'm ecstatic about this. In the game, let's talk about some of the. We could sit here and we could talk about some of these stats, you know what I mean? And from the Vikings games, we can go through that. And, some players that may stood out. We know Aaron Rodgers was 18 for 22, 200 yards, had a touchdown, got sacked twice. And that was a lot, for 18 yards. But Kenneth Gainwell had 19 carries, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's great. That was great, to be honest. Connor Hayward touched the ball today, which is good out of the backfield, which I thought that might happen. Caleb Johnson had a couple of runs, had 6 carries for 22 yards. DK Metcalf got busy, 5 receptions, 126 yards, a touchdown. Had that big, long catch for 80 yards. Had 5 targets on a day, so he caught all of his targets. Kenneth Gainwell had caught all of his targets. 6 receptions, 35 yards. Darnell Washington caught all his targets, 3 for 20 yards. Calvin Austin caught all of his targets. He had 2 targets for 13 yards. Jonnu Smith is the only one who didn't get all of his targets, and I think that was a pass that skipped off the ground. And then Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek, Caleb Johnson. And speaking of Ben Skoranek and Scotty Miller, man, don't they come in and they just play a vital role to our offense, man? They really do. When you look at the Ben Skoranek, his play, I think it was, I can't remember exactly what point of the game it was. Let me see. I think it was it's his blocking, man. I want to say it was late in the game, third or fourth quarter. He's coming in motion, and he just picks up a block, and he's blocking a defensive end. Shout out to Ben Skoranek, man. Like, that's Pittsburgh style type of football, man. The physical nature of guys, you know what I mean? That old Hines Ward feel, to where Hines Ward would just lay one of those linebackers or defensive ends out, and then, you know, the next play get up smiling, you know, get hit, and it just, you know, y'all know what I mean, because if you didn't see that Hines Ward smile, you got a little concerned in the game until you seen him smile. That's when you know, like, this team is in trouble, because, you know, Hines is about to play. And or if you didn't see it, then you got a little scared, like, okay, is Hines okay? Because you didn't see it. But Ben Skoranek, man, you know, just to see a fourth string wide receiver, however you want to put that, get in the game, and to see him lay a block on the defensive end like that, that's amazing. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that wins championships, that type of attitude, you know, on a team, that selflessness of a player. So shout out to Ben Skoranek, man, for that, because that's very important, I think, when you play like that. And you know, when we get in these players like Darnell Washington more involved in the offense, I like the way that we use in our tight ends. I you know, I talked about it last week, and about Connor Hayward, and us seeing Connor Hayward at fullback, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw Connor Hayward go to fullback today, and I'm like, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Because I think now we just introducing him all over the field on that offense. We really are introducing him in ways that I think is setting him up to get more touches later on in the year. Fullback dives, fullback tosses, because he's fast enough. If you can remember when Connor played in at Michigan State, he was the Swiss Army knife for these guys, lining up at tight end and a slot in the backfield, carrying the ball. Like, he did all of that, and I think he's prepared to play another role like that in this Arthur Smith offense. He's been around Arthur Smith. He's soaked up knowledge from every room. I would honestly like to see him touch the ball a little bit more. I honestly would. I like the way, because it's all misdirection. Like, we can hit teams from everywhere. It's so tough to defend when you got Connor Hayward at fullback, and you got big DK Metcalf out there, and then we got Jonnu Smith and Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth all on the field. Like, it's a matchup nightmare. And then you got Calvin Austin, whether you have Calvin Austin out there, and I know it's just short game, but which way is it going? Right, left? Is it coming in the middle? And when we're clicking the way we were clicking today, we're a tough team to beat, and we've shown that today. And shout out to the defense too, because the defense stepped up too. Now I get it. A lot of us are like, yo, we didn't play. We get too conservative with the offense. I have to say that we do, and I feel like we were just chewing up the clock at the point today. It's kind of still scared us, and that's because the defense let up a little bit more than we thought that would happen, right? But I think we got to turn the decision not to kick the field goal. I think it's like, because it's like if we make that, if we get that yard, then it's okay, right? You know what I mean? It's okay. Everything lives, but we get the points, and we possibly still could have gave them the ball back. You know what I mean? With some time, or we could have just went for the first. If we got that first down, they didn't look. They just don't get it right. But if we would have scored that touchdown, which we were inches short of getting with Kenneth Gainwell, that's game over. We go up by 10. It's nothing to be said about it. And I think that's what we got to play as. And we ask for that a lot as Steelers fans. Now, I know a lot of us out there will criticize the fact that we went for that touchdown, right? And we can't, because we can't have it both ways. We've all been saying out here as Steelers fans, we play too conservative. We got to live and die by that. I 100% support the decision of Aaron Rodgers, Mason McCormick, the whole offense, just saying, look, nah, let's, and then we tried to run the ball too. Like, so they was feeling themselves today. Like, nah, look, we gonna play ball. We are going to score this touchdown. We could run it in from here, coach. Let's go. Got behind that left side of the offensive line. And shout out to Spencer Anderson. Spencer Anderson came in and played some he played critical minutes for the offensive line. Spencer Anderson looks like maybe, we can use him as an eligible receiver, bringing him in the game, but also maybe he even could be replacing some guys, because we want to watch that, because as time goes on, we want, that depth at offensive line, that's hurt us before, but, that's hurt us not having the depth, and, bringing him in a situation could lead to that. But we're not looking towards that, right? We're not even looking at that. We just want to stay on a positive route with this and just say that we look that offensive line in the run game. That's the way that we want to look. And we went for it. And look, I support it. I'm happy we tried to in the game like that. That's what we need to do, is put our foot on opponent's necks. And I thought we did a good job with trying to do that today, to be honest, because when we get in those fights like that, I think we should have probably started a little bit early. You know what I mean? Like when we came out early, third quarter, first possession, third quarter, I thought that we should have came out and then done that. You know what I'm saying? But totality, that the defense had 8 sacks today, 6 sacks. I thought they had 7, to be honest. I thought we had 7. I think they're only trying to credit us for like 6 of them, but I honestly thought we had 7 sacks today, y'all. Like, if I'm not mistaken, they were active. Patrick Queen, Deshaun Elliott, T.J. Watt, Nick Herbig had 1.5. Kenny Benton, him and Kenny Benton share. Kenny Benton had 1, and then him and Nick Herbig shared 1 together, I believe, in the game. We got active. We got active out there. Deshaun, who had an interception? They called back Ramsey's return. Chuck Clark, he was active. He actually stripped the ball from Mason, and because he was out of bounds, he touched it early in the first quarter of the game. I think it was like with 9 minutes and 35 seconds. That was crucial. So we got to look at those points like that too. That was taken away from us in this game over, like some really controversial calls. You know what I mean? Deshaun Elliott's interception in the second quarter. Guess who tipped that? That was Derek Harmon getting active, tipping the ball. Cam Hayward, he literally lives and lead the league in passes defended out of the defensive tackle position, which is why he's worth a lot of pennies, because he actually tipped it, batted it right into TJ Watt's arms, and his interception. We were able to get points off of that. So there were some opportunities and some things that, I didn't think that a player out of bounds that fumbled the ball, got stripped, could touch it and be out of bounds and it'd be a dead ball. I didn't know that worked like that. You know what I mean? That's a really controversial call. That's a really controversial call. Mason running the ball and then he fumbles, gets stripped by Chuck Clark, and it balls out, and his body part is out of bounds. He touched the ball, it's dead ball before the guys get it. Like, that's crazy. He did not cover it. He was stripped. He's trying to regain control of the ball, in which case he shouldn't be allowed to. That shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? At that point, it shouldn't matter to me. That call is absolutely bogus. And I wonder how it would feel if it was a Pittsburgh Steeler that done that. You know what I mean? I try to be pretty fair about things when it comes to us. So had it been a Pittsburgh Steeler do that, I think I would have be on the same side of this, like, because I felt that way in the Washington game when I thought Washington got their first down in the fourth quarter on us last year. That's just me. You know what I mean? And fair is fair. And that's just the way I rock with this football thing, man. But I don't think that should have been a dead ball at all. I think one of Jalen Ramsey's touchdown, big callback. So you add that to the board. I think we're sitting at 31-31 in the game, 31-21 at the end of the game. We still wound up beating them by 10 handily. So I think our team showed up in a lot of areas. Now, the offensive line and Zach Frazier, the miscommunication with Zach Frazier and Isaac S. Like I told y'all, there's no point of panicking when we see the guys miscommunicating like that on stunts and twists. You know, it seems easy to cover when we're watching it on TV or when we're watching the all 22 film to say, okay, they easily could have picked this up. We can recognize what they could have done, but they also see that too on film, and you can tell that these guys are watching film because they are getting better. Our run game has improved, so that goes to show you that these guys most definitely see what they're doing wrong. They're working as a unit, and that's important for us moving forward as Steeler fans, and to know that our team really has chemistry, camaraderie, and they're working together like no other. You know what I mean? And that's good because that builds a championship caliber team when you see things like that, trying to hold each other accountable. Just as the late touchdown they scored in the game, the Vikings scored. You seen Patrick Queen get on Peyton Wilson immediately because Patrick Queen was moving up to get the quarterback in that situation. Him and Peyton Wilson have to be on the same page, and I think both of them, one of them were both like paying attention to the quarterback, and Jalen Naylor kind of squirrels out the back of the end zone. I mean, just came out the back of the backfield because he was in a slot, and he just kind of cruised behind the line and came out like he was part of the backfield, hit to the flats, and Carson Wentz was able to hit him. Patrick Queen was going for Carson Wentz, putting the pressure on him, making him get rid of the ball. He was expecting Peyton Wilson to try to drop back and cover Jalen Naylor, but he kind of didn't. But the accountability on the team, I think for the guys to be able to call each other out like that, we see that as them yelling at each other. But look, that's what brothers do on the football field, and I kind of like to see that attitude out of our team this year, to be honest. So I think that's a plus because that's something we didn't see last year. We didn't see that last year, the past couple of years. We've seen that happen, but we've seen the players shut down. We didn't see the guys just get over it, be able to talk to each other on the sideline, make it right, go back out there and fix things, because they were able to fix things. They closed the game out, I think, really well. Even though as fans we sitting there watching that game, like I hope Minnesota don't get down there, that defense played well. They were on the same page, and when you're seeing that accounts for a lot. And man, it really does. I think Broderick Jones, he's been around y'all, but he started as a rookie. You know what I mean? He started as a rookie. No excuses. The guy come from Georgia, but he really never had time to learn anything. He learned it on the fly, right? He's learning on the fly, and I think they're going to pick on Broderick Jones a lot, right? They're going to try to pick on him. Think everybody has weak areas, but Broderick Jones, he's the anchor over there at left tackle on our team. And everybody's not going to be perfect, right? Everybody's not going to play a perfect game. They're just not. And sometimes, if I can get 8 out of 10 times to where he's not getting pushed in the lap of the quarterback, but if not, still not getting beat, I live with that. Now, he got pushed in the lap of Aaron Rodgers. The pocket collapsed on him. But look, he still was in front of his man, and I don't think we can ask too much more out of that. You go a whole game. After I don't even think he got touched the game before Aaron Rodgers. So, to be touched twice, pause, to be hit twice in 2 games, and I think that's pretty good. 8 quarters of a football game, and I think they're improving. I really do, y'all. I really do think that they're improving, and it's showing. You know what I mean? Not on the film and stat wise, it's just showing. Not the stats wise, it's showing on the field. Because you look at there was a run at Kenneth Gainwell, Broderick Jones was in on it. I think got pushed a little bit, but it's plays like that's going to happen. Another play that stood out to me in the game, I think it was a second quarter with like 1:15 to go. They got Derek Harmon for roughing the passer. I don't think he played late. He was very. You got to be very aggressive as a defensive lineman in the league anyway. You got to have aggressive hands. You always got to be hand fighting. I think he was coming trying to get off his block and at the same time get his hands up. He's been a mentor by one of the best pass defending defensive tackles there is in the league, the best pass defender at defensive tackle in the league, and that's Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward bats balls. Derek Harmon is going to be able to take that role over when Cam Hayward, decides to call it quits. He is next up. Derek Harmon is next up on the Pittsburgh Steelers to do that. I think, and he done that today. He batted a ball. He tipped the ball when Deshaun Elliott got his interception in the second quarter with like 5 minutes and 50 seconds. So it shows he got his hands up and he hit the quarterback in the head. And I think that's why some guys don't try to get their hands up, because quarterbacks sometimes like to run up to that. But look, I'll take that. You know what I mean? I know it was in a crucial down. It kind of moved them up a little bit. And then, to move on a couple of plays after that, we had up with like 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. We had Patrick Queen, what's his name? Scott, the running back Scott. He went out on a swing pass and to Carson Wentz. It was kind of, the pocket was collapsing. He kind of like tried to flick it to him. I don't know if you guys remember that play, but Patrick Queen, he fitted that perfectly. I shout out to Patrick Queen today too. I don't know if he heard me call him out. I doubt if he heard me call him out. And it's not about calling him out or anything like that. It was just like, I just pointed some things out, like, with our defense, and it's been fixed. It seems like it anyway. Past couple of games, I think they've been getting more active in this run fitting and being able to get the chemistry with their guys to understand what's going on. Not really getting caught up in the wash too much, you know what I mean? And sacrificing for each other. Sacrificing meaning I'll take getting caught in the wash for you to be able to hit the gap. And you're seeing that with these guys. And I really like that. I really like that, man. Keep it up, guys. Just keep it up, man. Keep it up. But yeah, he fit it perfect. He read the play, kind of spied on Wentz, didn't go in. Just dared, because our guys seem to get there so fast to where we over pursue the quarterback, and he come up in the middle of the pocket and he tried to grow. Patrick Queen was there. Scott tried to sneak out the backfield. He followed Scott perfectly. Seen him try to sneak out, tackle for a loss. Perfect from Patrick Queen out play. And to first half, and then what I'm saying, we come out when we got the attitude like Aaron Rodgers going to halftime. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Rodgers going to halftime. And he's walking through the Vikings defenders, you know what I'm saying? Just nonchalantly, but, just laughing like I'm the OG. And it's that attitude, man. Like, that attitude. And I was just loving it. I was loving to see that, man, out of these guys, man. Like, that is Pittsburgh Steelers ball. And if anybody respects and knows Pittsburgh Steelers football, it is Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? He's played some tough Steelers teams in the early 2000s. Though. He has. He's played those dudes. You know what I mean? He's played against them. He know what Pittsburgh Steelers football is about. He respects it, and it's just coming back slowly but surely, y'all. And I like, as long as we can go out there with that attitude, like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We play the way we play today and we take a loss. I'm not mad at my team. I'm probably mad as a fan that we took the L, but I'm walking with my head at past. So what? We play the way we play. We play hard, and we just wasn't the better team that day. And look, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. But if we play like that nowadays, there ain't a team in this league that can play as tough as we played today. I watch all the NFL games, and I have not seen a team play the way that we have played collectively as a team today. And if we can continue to do that, we will be one of the best teams in the AFC this year, hands down. We will be coming out as one of the best teams in the AFC. That's a fact. And we will win the AFC North if we keep playing like that as a unit throughout the time. Like I said, TJ Watt's interception. Got to give credit to Cam Hayward once again. Another reason why Cam Hayward needs to be getting the bag. He need I'm not even going to keep harping on them. They paid TJ Watt and Cam Hayward for a reason. And Cam Hayward knows his worth. There's not, even at his age and what he was doing just last season. Now it ain't all the sacks. It's those plays. It's the opportunistic interceptions, the batted passes down at the line. That's what you're not getting out of a lot of those defensive linemen. Our defensive linemen go above and beyond what defensive linemen are doing. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't all the sacks that Myles Garrett and even though I think Myles Garrett is the best pass rusher, that's just me though, because it's a fan, it's a bias, and as a fan, and a little bit of fan out, representing the AFC North type deal. But TJ just got something different, and if TJ can stay healthy, TJ would definitely be number one in my list. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Let's knock on wood that he don't. You know what I'm saying? But for real, it is like that. If TJ could stay healthy, he would definitely be number one on my list. But that's why Cam Hayward and TJ Watt make that money like that, and that's why he's worth that, because you see guys that get paid around the league that put in half of the work that Cam Hayward does, and they are getting paid more than him. So do I think he's being greedy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because he produces on the field. He is an impact player, a leader on the team, and we ain't missing a beat. Shout out to Derek Harmon making an immediate impact on the team. Immediate impact. We cannot ask for too much more out of a guy in a game like you know what I mean, what Derek Harmon's doing as a rookie coming in. I can't wait to see Jack Sawyer soak up with Hairbig and learn from what Hairbig and Alex Highsmith are doing over there, because I really think Jack Sawyer can really make some plays similar to that, getting his hands up, knocking the ball down, getting some interceptions. We've seen it done at Ohio State. He just has to translate it to the NFL, and he's around, and he's in one of the greatest rooms in the NFL to actually learn how to hone in that craft. You know what I mean? So I'm not too much worried about it. Just give him some time to grow. Drafted at developmental position. Wyatt Black is clogging up holes. Our defensive line is really coming along, man. Our trenches, they're coming along. So just watch out. You know what I mean? We're probably going to go through a tough L or two to come up in the season, but to pay attention into the tough L's, you know what I'm saying? If we do take any, is how we're playing these little things that I'm pointing out now. Where was their effort there? Was the run fitting great? Were we able to hold each other accountable in the game? Because I think we're just growing. We're growing, man, and I really like this team, man. I really do, man. It's just it's giving me really good vibes, and I'm not just saying that from a fan. I'm just saying that because I'm actually looking at the game at all angles, statistically, actually looking at the film and how they're playing with each other, and I'm really watching a lot of things. So I like that. Patrick Queen, he had another perfect run fit against Mason in the third quarter with like 2 minutes to 7 seconds to go in the game. He I told you, it seems that he just plays when he wants to play, but he's a really a lateral guy, you know what I mean? And he kind of needs he just like, I need you, Peyton Wilson, to not be the sideline guy, but but he has to learn from him. So, because as Patrick Queen gets older and more wiser, Peyton Wilson got to be that fly around guy, and and he got to kind of fill in between the tackles, but he needs Peyton Wilson to fill in between the tackles while he's lateral and going north, south, east, west. He needs him to go northeast, southwest. Y'all get what I'm going down with that. He needs him to go diagonal ways. You know what I mean? On the field, he kind of covered everything north, south, and east and west. And once they get that down, I think because I don't know. It's weird to say. You would have to watch the film and like kind of break it down, but that's just in simple terms to try to break it down. You look at a compass. You got north and south, east and west, and then you got southwest, northwest, southeast. You know what I mean? And then you got north, east, southwest. That's more like what we need Peyton Wilson to play, if you will. I think so. And then once it comes together, it's just a whole compass, and they just got the whole direction thing down, and the chemistry at the two middle linebackers will just be unstoppable at that point. That's just the easy way of putting it. Like I said early on that I had Spencer Anderson as a eligible tackle. That seemed to help a lot with the blocking. And I think that's because I don't know if it's because Jonnu is not. I think it'll be more effective when you put another tight end there instead of Spencer Anderson. To be honest, I don't have a problem with Spencer Anderson being there, especially in the run game. But I think having a tight end there and having a tight end get up in there like Jonnu or Pat Freiermuth, I don't know if it's really working one of those guys, but you for sure can't miss a block when you got a offensive lineman in there, a guy who really knows how to block. But and I think that's what we're going with, and it just shows like they're a heavy run, but it also takes a weapon off the field in the pass game if it needed to be. So with that being said, I think I would like to, I like what went on because it was successful. However, I don't think that every game it will be successful. So moving forward, to see two tight ends, I think would be very dangerous. But we're seeing us use 3 tight end sets, 13 personnel in a lot of different ways, man. We're seeing it, man. You know what I'm saying? We've actually even seen 22 personnel out there today versus the Vikings. You know what I mean? 2 backs, 2 tight ends on the field. DK Metcalf is so big, like a tight end, but runs like a wide receiver. So, I mean, his blocking is incredible as a wide receiver. Even Calvin Austin's getting busy. Shout out to Ben Scarron and Calvin Austin. Those guys are blocking in the run game, which is crucial. But when you got those 3 tight ends out there and you just moving them all over the field, like I was talking about Connor Hayward earlier, like it's great, man. It's going to open up so much. Like, you just can't key in on this offense. Like, when you playing the Steelers, what are you going to get? What are you going to get when you play the Steelers? And that's what I like about us, because it's like that mystique that Bill Cowher had. Bill Cowher just said, he didn't give up too much information about who was injured and who wasn't playing, and you know what I mean? And he didn't never really give a game plan away. He said he just always gave a really generic answer. And but we always went out there and played tough football. You know what I mean? Whether we had the best teams or not. And Mike Tomlin, he's always going to give you those generic answers kind of too. You know what I mean? With a little bit of personality on it. But when you playing us, you don't know what you're going to get from the Steelers. You just don't. Like, you don't know what you're going to get from the Steelers when you play us. Like, And that's the great thing. Like, you don't know. You just don't know what you're gonna get from the Steelers. And I love that, man. I love that. I don't know how y'all feel about it. That James Pierre, do y'all remember the pick that James Pierre got in the game? To close the game out. I thought, yeah, he did double catch it, but great effort from him. Great effort from him in the game to come in the game like that. I think he had a back pass in the end zone. Had a great open field tackle in the middle of the field on T.J. Hawkinson. Almost had a pick in the game like that. For him to come in and play like that is incredible. I hope that Jalen Ramsey's okay. I thought he was playing, and when he grabbed his hamstring at the beginning of the game and started doing the gritty, I'm like, don't be playing like that. Later on in the game, he get kind of pulled up on it, but he did seem to return. But I hope that, he just takes his time and just heals throughout the week. They give him a little bit of veteran treatment and kind of let him rest up through the week. He played incredible today. The 2 penalties in the fourth quarter, I think we got to kind of clean up play like that. But having Deshaun Elliott in the game, I think was it was important to that defensive backfield to see Deshaun Elliott back healthy in that game. It just was, man. It really was. It was. I think it was important to the secondary. I think they played with a different kind of fire and passion. I think they just played a little bit more like, we know what's going on. Did you see the way that they were communicating out there today? Jalen Ramsey letting them know what was going on. The way that our defense was communicating today shows me and lets us all know as Steelers fans. I don't know if you watched the game and actually looked at the film like that. Just lets us know that having Deshaun Elliott back there means a lot. When you got Darius Slay, Deshaun Elliott, Jalen Ramsey, when Joey Porter gets back in the fold, James Pierre, Brian Eccles, when you got those guys back there, those veteran guys, oh yeah, don't please don't. I definitely hold up. I definitely don't want to forget. Dang man, I forgot he was stepping up, man. Brian Eccles stepped up. Juwan Thornhill played good today too, man. He played with his head on fire. Shout out to Juwan Thornhill. He played, man. Juwan Thornhill played with his head on fire today too. So let's not forget him. But that DB room, they played with a comfortableness today. You know what I mean? They really did. They played really comfortable in the game. They did. Shout out to the Vikings and the Vikings fans, man. I think y'all gave us a great game. I think it was a great game. It was just, y'all were just on the unfortunate side of things today. They got to clean up that offensive line play, but they got some injuries on that offensive line, which ain't good. It's never good when you got injuries on your offensive line and you got to play a well-disciplined, tough, physical football team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of respect for the Vikings fans and a lot of respect for the NFC North in general, because they are. They call us the black and blue division of the AFC. They are the black and blue division of the NFC to me. With all due respect to the NFC East, when you look at the Vikings, the Bears, the Lions, and when you look at the Packers, those teams have always, been built on physicality. They've always been physical football teams that come out there and punch you in the mouth. That's just how they are. This team's always been. So they've always had my respect, whether they had winning records or not. You know what I mean? That division is always respectable, good football division. So, yeah, I really like that about those guys. Excuse me. That was me. My fault. My fault on that. A little difficulties, but we got it back. But yeah, like shout out to them, man. For real, at the Vikings. A little bit about the Vikings today. I think Carson Wentz. Look, he had 350 yards through the air. Yeah, he had 2 interceptions. He was 30 for 46, took 6 sacks. Absolutely killed us. They really couldn't get their run game going today. But did they really need to? You know what I mean? We held them under the 70 yards rushing as a team, as a unit. Carson Wentz had 2 rushes for 12 yards. Xavier Scott had 2 for 1 yard. Jordan Mason had 16 carries for 57 yards. Had a long of 9. So we really came to play. We really took away the run today. But then we got a little bit chewed up in the secondary. But when we got those opportunistic turnovers, strip, interceptions, I think that's like, yeah, we got cooked, we got fried, but they stepped up when they needed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just how I feel. Like, you're rarely gonna get a perfect game. But when we do play perfect, I think it's cool. Justin Jefferson had 10 receptions, 126 yards, 11 targets. Jordan Addison had 4 receptions, 114 yards, 8 targets. So he only caught 50% of his passes, but he had an 81-yarder on us. A great hustle by Nick Herbig, by the way. Great hustle, right? TJ Hawkinson had 4 receptions, 39 yards, 5 targets. Jordan Mason had 3 for 5, 15. Had caught all his targets. Adam Thielen had 2 targets, 11 yards, caught all his targets. Jalen Naylor had 4 targets, caught only 1 for 2 yards. Even though they chewed him up, I think that's what I said. Like, we stepped up, 3rd down, got off the field, made some good plays. That's why I'm not really tripping. As far as the leading tackler for the Vikings, it was Eric Wilson. Eric Wilson, shout out to him, 9 solos. Joshua Metellus, he also was up there on the leaderboard. But once again, man, shout out to the Vikings fans out there, man. I gotta say that as a Steelers fan, I appreciate the game today. Great football game from both of our teams, representing Steelers country, Steelers nation. Here we go, Steelers. And coming from all that, big respect. I think I'm gonna do that with all my opponents this year. That give us a good game anyway. If it's a blowout, we get blown out. I'll try to come in and say something else, but it definitely was a good game. They fought back. They played well, I thought, at times, but they really did. The run game was a little bit off today, and that's not Viking-esque, but they let up those sacks. But even still through that, to only lose by 3, I'm not ready to hit the panic button. Not at all. I think our coach had a very good game plan. I think Brian Flores had a great game plan too. To be honest, I really do. I think we came out with a great game plan, and sometimes game plan that's what they're there for. We had a great game plan versus them today, and that was really to put pressure in Carson Wentz's face. He struggled with that a lot in his career after the injury. Noticing that couldn't move and mobile as he was, but he did get busy on some plays, though. You know what I'm saying? I seen him get busy on one of those 3rd downs and saved it. So great game, man. Much respect, man. Look, Steelers talk. I ain't done yet because the next week, in our schedule, we have to go see the Browns. But we got the Browns at home. I'm not concerned about this game against the Browns. I'd be lying if I told you that I'm not concerned, because this pass rush of the Vikings gave us some problems twice today. We most definitely will be pressured by this Browns defensive line. I don't know who we're going to see at quarterback for the Browns, so I'm not too much worried about the defensive side of the ball. I think our defense just has to kind of get a unexpected touchdown or 2 to help us, to catapult us to this win. That's usually how it goes in these division games anyhow. You know what I'm saying? But because they'll come out with a good game plan. We always kind of split one with the Browns, especially lately with that pass rush they have. I just want to see how our offensive line really adapts to the Browns this week coming up. I want to see how they handle this. It seems that the communication was off a little bit versus the Vikings. I want to see if they're able to clean that up with Mason Graham, Aid Huntington, not Huntington coming in. Myles Garrett. Much respect for that. The Browns defensive line. Like I said, I think it's one of the best in the NFL. To be honest, I think that's one of the best areas with the Browns is that pass rush. It also helps a weak defensive back room that they do have over there in Cleveland. So yeah, those shots down the field, I hope that we can see some of those this week. I think that may help us as as moving forward and as the game plan. Look, I'm no coach or anything, but if I'm just giving my opinion on it, I think that should be part of our game plan is to try to attack them downfield a little bit, expose some of that. Of course, we're going to account for Myles Garrett on there. So we want to see how Broderick handles that and how they're able to handle that. They're going to put two guys on his side, or we're always going to pay special attention to that side. So it's going to be on Mason Graham and them other guys to try to get to the quarterback, and they will pressure Aaron Rodgers. But get the ball out quick, be able to run the ball and take some more shots down the field, man. Test that defensive back room of the Browns. See if they're ready and up to the task to handle that with some of our guys. Let's get Ben Skoranek out there a little bit. He deserves it. Calvin Austin, play a little bit more type of small ball with those guys at first. And, if that don't seem to work early on, I mean, to be able to adjust quick through the game and just come out in that 13 personnel type of look, rather we come out with the 22 personnel one of the tight ends at fullback and a two on the line or however that looks, come out in that and smack them in the mouth, man. Because it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. So shout out to the Browns fans. We see y'all next week, 1 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Y'all coming to Steelers country. We're going to make it uncomfortable for y'all. We're going to make it very uncomfortable. We're going to have a good game. But, yeah, man, that's just my game plan. And my keys to victory kind of coming up versus the Browns, man. Yeah, that's it. And peace out. Hey, look, y'all know how I ended out, man, with my Steelers talk for the week. Moving into the week 5. Yes, sir. Football season just moves so fast. We wait months on end for football season to come, and then it just seems to go so fast. Already on week 5, I think that's a quarter of the way through the season already. But shout out, man, to me. Yeah, my birthday coming up, so my Earth Day I was born, so it's definitely coming up. I ain't gonna tell you how old I am, but what I will do is just tell y'all that it's coming up. So I want y'all to give me some happy birthdays in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button for me too. Shout out to Steelers country here. And all I gotta say before we get on up out of here is, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'm always praying for y'all every time I see y'all in the comments. Especially those people I see in the comments. I'm able to shout out a prayer. You know what I mean? And pray for you. So if because I think we all need it. You know what I'm saying? We all need it. You ain't got to be perfect. You ain't got to be a perfect person to be prayed for, or you know what I mean? Just how you is. So if you get down in the comments, let me know what's up. Say what's up. Even if my first time seeing, but best believe I put you in my prayers for sure. And pray for me, pray for y'all, pray for each other, y'all. Families that pray together and people that pray together tend to stand together. Good vibes. All right. Peace.